What seems to be the ruckus?
Oh my, your face.
If there would be one game I'd have difficulty reviewing, it would just so happen to be Dark Souls 2.
It's an undead.
I've been a fan of From Software's Souls series ever since Demon's Souls, and even Kingsfield if you count that. The series has forced gamers out of their comfort zones and rewarded them for persevering through the toughest of boss fights, invasions, and ickiest of monsters. Ooh. So when Dark Souls 2 was first announced back at the end of 2012, I was excited and happy once again to have my ass handed to me. And so were legions of Souls fans, until of course rumors spread that DS2 would try to appeal to a wider audience. Alas, Dark Souls 2 is still Dark Souls, aka that brutal dive of a third-person action RPG.
It's a human effigy.
Much like previous games in the series, players create a character and choose from a roster of traditional RPG classes. Each class designates your character's stats so that you can play as a lug-headed warrior or a spell-casting pansy. Heck, you can even dual-wield swords now, but only if you're a bad enough dude. In a half-hearted attempt to help new players to the series, Dark Souls 2 has the courtesy of a lengthier tutorial, but not without harshly reminding them that in the land of Dranlaic, death equals progress.
Well, you never know.
From Software has added a few new healing items to make the trip less painful, and they've even added a covenant that'll send a friend over whenever you get invaded. Invasions and PvP are still a big component of the series, and Dark Souls 2 adds a few more covenants to spice up online excursions. You can still join the Royal Asshole Brigade and invade other weaker players, or be the good guy and hunt down said assholes. The tweaks to the rest of the game range from good, interesting, or You can now fast travel to any bonfire, but have to travel back to a hub area to level up your character. While traveling back to Mahula can feel like a nice break, it essentially breaks the game's flow. Online fights are less a race to see who can backstab each other first, though I had more trouble with invaders who just randomly glitch or lag right behind me. Enemies only respawn 10 times, but you can use an item to replenish the area with enemies on a higher New Game Plus difficulty. In listening to fans, From Software has delivered more Dark Souls, and the land of Dranlaic is abundant with plenty of new enemies, weapons, traps, secrets, and areas to overcome. At the same time, a few enemies and even bosses from Dark Souls reappear without little relevance besides, hey look, it's that guy, which becomes the first sign that Dark Souls 2 has a rushed, overly designed quality that makes it less absorbing than previous games.
But our master never dies.
There are more areas that make up the world of Dranlaic and Lordran, and most are still eerie, disturbing, and beautiful. They are also shorter, smaller, and have less staying power. As a sequel, Dark Souls 2 is adequate. The game is a case of more of the same, which is both a blessing and a curse. The amount of content From Software has created is impressive, and the game's length clocks in at about 40 to 50 hours of dread-inducing combat and atmosphere. It's a satisfying sequel for fans of the series, but for everyone else, taking the plunge into the needle pit might seem more daunting than ever.